Unfortunately, there seemed to be a bit of a grey area with regards to counselling support for children in Powys. I worked in children's services, so I was very much aware of the team around the family and the TAF team, and that they offered emotional and wellbeing support. So I contacted them and got a referral through for Freddie, my eldest, who was 9 at the time, because of, as I explained, you know, he was missing his dad. The man that was in the house wasn't his dad. He wasn't the dad that was going out on the bike rides and the rugby coach and, you know, the playful dad that he was, you know, he really was in our life. And that very much impacted Freddie. And I was very, very grateful. We had a TAF worker come, and she came to our house at the hardest time that anybody could come to a household. Freddie felt very comfortable to explain to her, you know, and explore feelings. You know, I have said to him that, you know, it is tremendously sad what's happened to us, and, you know, no wonder you feel the way you feel. And he's really open and honest with me, and, you know, we talk about our grief together, we cry together. It's something that we didn't want to do, or as a mum you wouldn't want to do in a lifetime, but when he does really let his grief out, it's a relief, because of when it's just trapped in there, that's when it's not going to be any good for him growing older. So for him to be able to let it out and be able to feel that he can let it out, I feel that, you know, we're winning there, definitely. And the same with my Rupert. You know, he was only 3 when Mark was diagnosed, and he had just turned 4 2 weeks before Mark had passed. He didn't know what death was, and that was the hardest day of my life, was when I had to tell my boys that their dad had passed, and Rupert not knowing what death was and having to explain to him about how the body doesn't work anymore and the heart has stopped. So he had a big steep learning curve to take on, with learning about emotions, about what actually death is, and that it's happened to his dad. And where I think a lot of people within the family, we thought Rupert would be okay because he was of the younger age, actually he started displaying quite anger bursts because he was frustrated, because he couldn't say how he was feeling, he just knew he was feeling them. So he ended up having TAF support, and by goodness, like, again, so much gratitude for it. You know, she'd come into the house and just bring a tray of sand with all different animals, and, like, you know, which ones are your favourite? And he picked like a gorilla and a crocodile, and she said, oh, they're quite angry animals, and just explored anger with him via such a child-friendly way. It was amazing to watch, as well as heartbreaking as well, because of, you know, I wanted to, as a mum, you want to take away their pain and you can't, but all I can do is promise that I will do anything that I possibly can to help them to deal with their grief and their loss.